Hey, I'm Hannah, sharing my adventures around the world while working full time. Hey guys, Hannah here. So, March didn't look anything like what I expected. This is another monthly update for you guys. If you've been following my life as a digital nomad in Mexico, you'll know I usually share hikes, travel, and adventures. But the month of March was very different. This is a real life update what happens when travel, work, and life all pause for something much more important. So March actually started really simply. It was a Sunday. I stayed home. I made a slow breakfast, took the dogs to the park, got groceries delivered. Just one of those calm reset days that I love after busy periods. Monday and Tuesday were normal, teaching, yoga, working, just everyday life in Mexico. And then everything changed. After yoga, I got a message from my mom. My dad had just come home from the hospital and he had decided that he was ready to move on from his life on earth to whatever comes next. And I knew his health had been declining and over quite a few months, but I didn't realize that we were already at the end. So I stepped outside and I called him and just took some time to process everything. The next day, I booked a one-way flight to the US, no return date, no plan, just go. So I had to cancel a lot of plans, figure out care for all my animals for an undetermined return date, figure out stuff with my house, pause my normal routine, let go of any structure, cancel out my appointments and plans with friends. And that's something people don't talk about much with digital nomad life, but that flexibility is can be tested in emotional ways. So when I arrived, my dad the next day got admitted into hospice care, which is a type of medical support focused on comfort, not cure. So instead of trying to treat the illness, the goal is just to manage the pain, keep the person comfortable, support the patient and the family. And this often happens at home, which is what we chose. So that was really nice for my dad. That was what he really wanted. And so for about 3 weeks, life really slowed down for us. I shifted to part time work, just a couple hours a day. The rest of the time, I was helping my mom, supporting my dad, spending time with my brother, just being present for whatever was needed. Some days were harder than others. There were ups and downs. There were days where we thought, like, dad might not be here tomorrow. And then other days where he seemed stronger again. So we had some moments that also felt normal. We took him for a drive, got him a root beer float, stopped by the water at Point Lookout State Park, got him some of his favorite foods like pizza and lasagna from Nicoletti's. So those were some really nice small moments that were important for us and mattered a lot during that period of time. I was able to step away a couple of times. I saw my friend Katie, who happened to be in town, went for a beach walk with my best friend Sarah and the dog that she adopted from me in Mexico. So even in those difficult times, those small breaks help you reset because it's a lot. And you can't, even if you're physically there with the person, there's not always something that can be done. You know, sometimes they're resting, sometimes they don't need anything. And I don't necessarily know that being there 24/7 ready to help is necessarily good for anyone. So some breaks are really healthy. And after a couple of weeks, dad passed away on March 23rd. We were all there, my mom, my brother, and me, just sitting with him in the living room around his bed. So it was peaceful. Even their cat was there. So it was a very difficult moment for us, but we were also just glad that he's no longer suffering, that he is at peace, and that journey has ended for him. He was ready. He was ready, and that was what he wanted. So I think it was about as good as it could be, all things considered. Of course, we'd much rather still have him here, but that's just the way of it. You know, everybody passes away at some point. So I'm glad that we could all be there with him, say goodbye to him. I know it meant a lot to him to have all of us there in those final weeks. So that was really good quality time. And after my dad passed, everything shifted again. There's a lot of things that happen after you lose someone that maybe people don't necessarily talk about: planning the services, writing an obituary, handling logistics, going through belongings, supporting family, etc. I took about a week off of work, and I'm really glad that my company was flexible with that. I also went out hiking just about every day. It's something that helps me a lot with my mental health, and just when I'm active, I just feel more like myself. I sleep better. It helps me channel my stress and just gives me some structure in my day. So that was something that I enjoyed a lot since it was my hometown, going out to a lot of trails. I think nearly everywhere I went, I had been before, but some of them I hadn't been there in quite some time. So it was really nice. And in the middle of all of that, I attended one of my best friend's weddings. Katie, who I've been friends with for over 20 years, got married. She and Fouad actually met on a scuba diving trip last year in Egypt that Katie and I went on together. And Fouad was a scuba diving buddy, and they met, and we all dived together. And then they became friends, and things just went from there. So it was really cool to be there for their special day. It was something I hadn't planned on doing because I wasn't thinking I would be in Maryland, but it was really cool. I got to be there and celebrate them. So it's just a surreal mix of grief and joy, and I think life isn't necessarily a straight line. There's ups, there's downs, there's happiness, there's sad emotions, there's challenges, and that's just the way of it. So just kind of going with the flow as much as we could. And after that, the rest of March and into April has been helping mom adjust, taking care of house and car logistics, anything that we could help her with. Eli handled a lot of the tech stuff and financial stuff, and I handled a lot of the physical stuff, like getting donations out, trash out, taking care of some of the stuff with the cars, and just stuff that we could, whatever we felt called to help with that would try to support mom during this time, sorting through dad's things, spending time with family. We got to visit grandma, cousins, even a couple of friends. Eli was able to connect with some of his local friends as well. So that was really nice. So just kind of slowly moving forward. It's hard to think about the fact that dad's no longer here with us. It's like a very final end point, and we always know that day will come, but it's different when it actually comes. I think even if you mentally know it's coming, you're able to say goodbye and try to make your peace with things. It's still tough. It's still tough, but we had a really nice send-off ceremony for him, service with a lot of special items of his, and a lot of people that he had impacted or been close to in his life came out to honor him. So that was really nice. And yeah, so on this channel, I usually share a lot of adventure and freedom, but this is also part of the lifestyle. Being a nomad or living abroad doesn't remove you from real life. Just means sometimes you have to drop everything and show up where it matters the most, even if you didn't plan on that. So March wasn't about travel, it was about being present, and honestly, that's just as important. So I didn't know I was going to be in the US. I didn't know I was going to be on a multi-month trip this year. I thought I would just be at home in Monterey, but that's life. There's unexpected things that come at you, and you do the best you can and handle them. So that's a little March update for you guys, and I'll be checking in with you soon with an April update as well. And I hope you guys are enjoying these little updates, just a little taste. And actually, you can see the background is different behind me. This is where I'm actually staying. I'm staying at my best friend Sarah's mom's house. So I'm in the Maryland area, and not at my family home currently, but I will be back there in a little bit. I have a little more time I'll get to spend there before I fly out. So anyway, thank you for watching, and see you guys in the next one.